Hey there, it's Melissa. I am here with my friend Julie. We are doTERRA Wellness Advocates, and we are sharing our story. If you are someone who struggles with I guess you would call metabolism, but more specifically the the parts of metabolism, Julie, that we don't maybe didn't know were metabolism, like brain fog. Most people, I think, just associate metabolism with weight gain. Can you think of another, like, what's another one?
uh, Insulin fluctuations.
Insulin. Oh, yeah. Oh, which could lead like mood swings. So you'd see like mood swings, brain fog. Oh, inflammation. Like you're,
Inflammation. Yep.
yeah. Problem sleeping. Maybe night sweats. Hot flashes. You name it. Let me see if I can find it. There we go. Trying to get my screen up right now, and there it is. Okay. I'm just gonna make sure I can share. Well, Julie, it's you. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I
Sweet.
can.
Okay, so this really is a lot of this. It might be me. Julie's gonna jump in here too, because Julie has definitely had some gains. Um, we have different gains, but it's pretty dang cool. And other people that we're working with have had some incredible gains as well. But I really I made the topic, or I borrowed this presentation and just tweaked it a bit because it really has to do with metabolic health. That's quite a complex thing, but it's actually very simple when you get down to it, right? Like the whole metabolism thing, when we think of our body, it's complex. So this is where it can be complex. Your metabolism is so much more than weight loss and weight gain. Julie, how many people do you know? Could you count? Is it like two fingers or two hands, I should say? People that have talked about weight loss.
Oh, just in general?
Yeah, how often do you hear it?
Oh, like every day.
Right. Like
Yeah.
that's what I think our conversations are. That's like it's weight loss. And it's so much more than that. That's what I want to get into a little bit today. But I know that as we go on, just because I'm learning so much more, we'll have an opportunity to share more in the future. But this is just sort of a little foundation class that we've put together. Um, so most of us know the metabolism is how our body's converting what we eat and drink into energy, including releasing and storing energy. So most of us have an understanding of what metabolism do, like the foundation of it. But it's interesting because this is just a quick one from Dr. Mark Hyman, but it has to do with it isn't in our stomach, but in our brain chemistry. And I know, Julie, you and I have been talking about gut health too and microbiomes. And
Yes.
that also influences brain chemistry. So people believe the metabolism is just our stomach, right? So I think that's why we get stuck with like it's weight gain. I don't know, but this is our whole body. This is our brain. This is our liver. This is our heart. Like there's just so much to this. Energy is being produced in all the cells in our body. That's metabolism. So I'll say it again. Energy is being produced in all the cells of our body. So this is a big shift, I think, for people. Now, in our brain, when we are eating sugary processed foods, it does something to the chemistry. And that's maybe the metabolism, like you said, like insulin resistance. Maybe that's what we're used to keying into. I want to talk a little bit more. Okay. Metabolic health affects every aspect of your life because there are mitochondria in every cell in our body. So I'm doing this workshop right now, or not like an online one. It's so cool. I should say, you know what? Audiobook it. I'm going to get the audiobook for people if you're interested in it, if you want to get into the science. But it is all about the connectedness of energy and metabolism. The clean energy. Have you heard of it, Julie?
Yes.
Yeah. Everything is interconnected, which makes sense because we have mitochondria. Metabolism is occurring in every cell in our body.
Well,
We're
and the
metabolizing
brain is talking to your body and all parts of it all the time.
all the time. But even each cell has like activity within the cell, and triggers are triggering these things within the cells.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we've got millions. It's like the most condensed amount of mitochondria, the energy producers in our brain, but every part of our body. And that is why, we see these things, weird things happening on our skin. We've got some weird stuff. I think there's like you look at a lot of the autoimmune issues that are gut related. This is all interconnected and can be interconnected. I think what they're saying is like 80%, which is there's always this 80-20 rule. So, what is going on truthfully in our body? What's getting in the way? So this is the foundation piece for us. We've got lack of stress management, lack of movement, lack of quality of sleep, lack of nutrition, and exposure to toxins. So that's a lot. Julie, what's the one you hear most people talk about? Maybe right now, is it stress?
Um, the people I see, it's aging. So women perimenopausal or men like 40 to 50, and all of a sudden their body can't handle coffee anymore, or their body's just changing and they don't understand what's happening. And I mean, it's taken years and years of build up to fill yourself up with toxins and all the things.
So it's almost like you're seeing people that are, like when you talk about like inflammation, like we're talking about like say arthritis, right?
Yeah,
Lack of movement, I guess you could say.
lack of movement, inflammation,
Yeah. Yeah.
and gut issues because of it also.
Yeah. And like, I guess, yeah. So then what it's, so they're seeing the result, like aging can be related to what's getting in our way, right? That speeding up of aging can be a result of lack of stress management. You can hear people's hair go gray when something stressful happens in their life. When you
Yeah,
don't move your joints, as you age, your joints become stiff.
I think
I'm gonna lost you there for a sec.
the
I know why.
cumulative
Yeah,
years and years of bad habits.
correct. So let me see if that's there. I think this is what you were just talking about. So you already knew what I was going to be putting in these slides because you're like, yeah, it's IBS digestive issues. So many people.
Yeah,
Sick, tired, skin rashes. For me, it was PCOS, brain fog, lack of motivation, and joint inflammation. That's really what was happening to me. Tired. Tired. It was tired. I was so tired.
fatigue. Yep,
Yeah, right?
and inflammation
Yeah.
creates fatigue.
Yeah.
I
So,
hear often, people don't know why they're so tired, even if
yeah.
there's, well, that's why, or what's one of the reasons.
So one of the like this book, the Clean Energy, I don't know if it was the book or this workshop. Between the two of them, they're intertwined. And it's the word you just said, inflammation. Like, where is this inflammation coming from? Because all of those markers are inflammation markers. And I was listening to this doctor talk and say, you know what? Our system is so specialized when it comes to individual areas of the body and the disease within the individual area of the body, that whole step back, going upstream to see where the inflammation coming from, isn't a part of our system. Our system goes, oh, you have this, here is a steroid cream. Oh, here you have this. Here's the list goes on. We could list it. There are some benefits. I'm going to say there are some benefits to our system for sure when it comes to some of the bigger issues that aren't related to inflammation. But this generalized inflammation that exists isn't being, I don't know, isn't being serviced in healthcare, general healthcare practice. And so what we are having to do as you will see naturopaths, you will see other people, some of our chiropractors are doing that work, is to go, okay, well, let's look at the big picture. Like, we have to go upstream. What are you putting in your body to see this metabolic dysfunction? And you said it right at the very beginning, it's glucose spiking, right? And cortisol imbalance is the other one. And there can be more to it, but we can also just simplify this. So what are the things that are causing my glucose levels to spike? And which is also related to cortisol imbalance. Like, how is my body not working effectively at metabolizing, right? The metabolites, the after effects of energy. It's like there's just so many beautiful options. And they're small shifts. So we have to start what I did and what Julie did and what many of our doTERRA advocates started to do is start to make these really small shifts, because they start to educate us more on our like the foundations of health, the health pyramid. And so today we're just going to lightly address. And I have to say, Julie, I am so thankful for the experience that you and I went to, what, convention 2 years ago? Last year
Yes.
and 2 years ago. I think it was 2 years ago. We got a lot of education on metabolism, right? And glucose. Yeah. I am so grateful for that, because being being an advocate has made me not just like accountable, like wanting to be accountable for others, but I really have to be accountable for myself. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. Or it could be the other way around. And Kelly just popped in. Hey, Kelly,
Hi. Oh my gosh.
don't stress. Stress is bad, man. Look at
Oh,
number
no
3.
stress, just oblivious. It's all good. Carry on.
Rest and manage stress. We're actually talking about nutrition and digestion, movement and metabolism right now, and how a couple years ago when we went to our convention, it was the education that we started to learn about these things, metabolism specifically,
Mm-hmm.
that really reinforced my health choices and has continued to support me in making better choices for my health and helping other people. Like that, I'm so grateful.
100%.
Because I know you had put out you were walking every morning, weren't you? Are you still walking every morning?
No, I did the 30 in November. So,
But you
but
had made
I
that
should almost
habit,
just do it every month because I do it in November
well,
because there's no challenge. I should just do a monthly challenge.
right?
Mhm.
But it's being a part of doTERRA helps to reinforce healthy behaviors.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's, I'm trying to do it quickly, but also hold space for some of the most important things right now. And let me see if I can get to my next. There we go. You're gonna go. So for me, and this has got my meta wellness essentials, this was really big for me, is I was moving but I wasn't nourished, and I maybe was moving, but I wasn't maximizing my metabolism and movement because I wasn't nourishing my body. I don't know if that makes sense. It was
Yeah,
like,
it totally does.
so I was thinking I was eating well and nourishing my body, but there were still some gaps and holes and things I needed to learn. And once I learned that, and then I could pair it with movement, I felt so much better. It was really the nutrition and digestion first and foremost.
Yeah, I would agree with that for sure. I think I've just started tracking too. Like so I'm like, well, I'm not going to track what I eat. That doesn't feel healthy to me. But why I'm doing it in a way is to track like the carbs and the protein and the fat to make sure that I am on target with the things that are going to fuel me properly for movement, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And at the right times. So,
Well, I think for me, I started not necessarily tracking like on paper, but intentionally, I was paying attention to protein and
yeah,
realized I had to start to increase clean protein
yeah.
because,
And this app is good because it does, you can take pictures of things, you can write it in and it calculates that for you. So,
well, that's so good.
yeah, it's good.
Well, and I want to like also people, we've lived through 80s diet culture,
Mm,
maybe 90s diet culture. Did it continue? It continued.
yeah.
And from a sort of education, behavior, whatever perspective, it can be unhealthy for some people.
Yeah.
When you have a goal of nourishing your body with whole foods that bring me joy, like bring you joy and health,
Yeah.
that's a different mindset. And that's, positive, body positive mindset, like of really attuning to that nourishment,
Hmm.
joy and health, right? Like just,
Yeah.
I don't know how else to put it.
Yeah, no, totally. And that's where I was at. And I was like, you know what? I just want to see where I'm at. Like, am I getting
Yeah.
enough protein? I think I'm getting enough protein. Am I getting enough? And it was nice to see that. I was like, okay, good. I am on track of what I think I should be doing. So it's good. And I think that's the key thing though is whole foods, right?
Yeah. Keeping up.
Is
Yeah. This is not, this
yeah,
is a lifestyle. This is a
yeah,
lifestyle. Yeah.
I want to just make a quick point, Melissa.
Yeah.
I think for myself and probably a lot of people also, we had deficiencies that we didn't know about,
Mm,
that we weren't getting from our food, whether it's B12 or magnesium or anything like that, and which contributes to this whole unhealthy inflammation cycle. But we didn't know, we don't know what we didn't know. Do you know what I mean?
that's 100% it, Julie. And I know that you've had a focus on supplementation longer than I've had a focus on supplementation and the values of supplementation because of what is missing in our food.
Yeah.
And the soil, right? I think you told me that it's like soil related.
mm,
Yes. Yeah. The nutritional value that, a head of spinach today compared to a head of spinach from 1930. The one today, even if it's organic, will be drastically less nutritious because
Wow.
we've just depleted our planet. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. And I think for me, like I look at this foundation of we've got omegas, we've got it's like a cellular, I like that they call it a cellular vitality complex, but it's supporting it's got some natural products that are supporting functions in our body. If does that make sense? Like I don't mean just micronutrients because we look at our microplex VMZ and those are the vitamins and minerals, but our alpha CRS is looking at more supportive herbs.
yeah. It's like your antioxidants, polyphenols, things that are supporting your energy.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
metabolism, right? There are
and
actually
metabolism.
metabolism supports in there. I know that for
Yeah,
me, this is earlier on. Why I got taking this is because I know omegas were good. I didn't know how good they are important they are until like just recently. I knew they were good for you. Microvitamin or the vitamins, you know, Julie and I were talking more about that, so I knew to key into that, but it was really in the alpha CRS, I was looking for pine tree extract because of a natural way to deal with histamine response. So I started taking that, and that totally helped with my allergies. Like this was my foundation that helped reduce inflammation where I was having these insane histamine responses. So that was why I started taking this. What about
Yeah.
Kelly? What for you when you started LLV? What was your
I was in the stage of having little kids, like toddlers, and my mood was all over the place. Kind of like crying super easily, drop of a hat, low energy, and also allergies. I was the same. And that was my mom too. We
Mhm.
did all the allergy oils and everything, but it was really like the long-term benefit of the allergies and not having those reactions anymore, not having to take antihistamines every day was this foundational support. 100%.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Julie, what about you? You
It was, yeah, I started actually for allergies
mm-hmm.
more than any other reason really. And like both of you, I believe once you give your body what it needs, it will heal itself when it can.
100%. And I
That's
think I also was interested too because I had used the oils, but everyone was like, you actually will notice a difference in how you feel, which
yes.
no one, like, no, I've taken lots of different vitamins in my life and nothing I've ever noticed the way I feel. And within a few weeks of taking the lifelong vitality, you could feel a difference. I was like, this is awesome.
Well, part of mine too is celiac disease. So my inflammation markers are high in various places in my body based on an autoimmune issue. And this actually, so it was the allergies. And then what I also noticed I wasn't expecting was the reduction of the inflammation in response to sneaky wheat. Like
Mm.
sometimes wheat gets in or gluten gets in, and I'd get these flare-ups and they would set me back for I don't know how long. And I'd get like mouth sores. It was just terrible. Like just, oh, and body, like I'd get like these rashes and everything. And that stopped as soon as I started taking LLV.
That's amazing.
It was so good. Like so good. And for my mom, it was her stress, like metabolizing her stress when it got up. You know how people get cold sores?
Mm.
Okay,
Yeah.
those drastically went down.
Wow.
It was huge. And her inflammation went down. So LLV helped like that generalized inflammation. But I have to be honest with you. Oh yeah, there. Hi, there's the information there. It's good to see. Yeah. There was still something else that started to happen in my body. Um, I think this is when my hormones started to really shift. Julie, for you, what was your getting into? Oh, it was your brain, wasn't it? Brain fog. Hope you're still there. It's hard to see. Can you hear me, dear?
Oh, she just muted.
She might be muted. Oh, there she is.
Oh, sorry. I was just drove through the dead spot.
Oh yeah.
What was the question?
So it's like when did you start like when did you go, I'm gonna try this? Like what was your why for trying MetaPower?
Um, for MetaPower, joint pain
Oh,
was
okay.
the starter for me. Yeah.
Did you expect your brain fog to shift in the way that it did? I don't know if you,
No,
okay.
I did not expect that for sure. And it
Because I
did.
know, yeah, go ahead.
No, it's one of those things it's hard to notice even if you're being self-aware, but when you talk to other people, like you were constantly telling me like, see what you came up with. You're not foggy.
Yeah. Well, because before we started it, I can remember you apologizing a lot, sort of in like, like brain overwhelm, sort of.
Mhm.
And then you started to instead have like ideas it was like, what? Like there was this complete flip of someone who had healed, basically healed from a car accident, right? It was like, your brain's healed.
Yeah,
And,
it was very fuzzy and not great short-term memory and
yeah.
yeah.
That's right.
And we were talking about how our brain has so many mitochondria. And the thing with this product is the advantage is mitochondrial food. I think like a mitochondria are a bunch of fish in a tank and you're like sprinkling it in every day and you're
Mhm.
giving them a baseline of what they need to heal, like for our body to actually heal itself. Kelly, what about you? When you jumped
I was
in?
joint pain too. So I had a ACL repair in 2004.
Yeah.
And it was starting to get to be arthritis-y in my knee. And so I was like, well, okay, this would be amazing. And it was. So, but then what I didn't expect was like the skin benefits.
Mm.
Like people being like, oh my gosh, like you look so young, and just noticing that smoothness in my skin, and that was an added bonus. But yeah, though the joint, like I mean, I'm not blown away because I love everything about all the products that we take, so I'm not blown away per
Mhm.
se. But I just to have not have that knee pain anymore
Mm.
is awesome.
That's huge.
Yeah.
And I think that when you look at, so if you go and look at benefits of collagen just in general, and especially because it's marine collagen, people I think usually think face, like collagen people are like younger looking, right? Like that's I think a big selling point. People are like, oh, I want it for that.
Mhm.
But oh my gosh, it's joint health.
Yeah. Well, and it's just, I love it's, we're always calling it the collagen, but it's just one of 12 ingredients too, right? Like
Right.
to have that NAD in there, um, or the NMN to help promote NAD
Yeah.
production is just in terms of feeling younger, looking younger, but like, you know, not necessarily like looking younger, like only your physical appearance, but just like how your body's working and the things that you're able to do.
That was mine. I started to like, I don't know, the lockdown, it might be emotionally, like physically and emotionally, things drain you. And I just felt drained. I wasn't getting my celiac flare-ups anymore. I wasn't getting the rash. I wasn't getting the weird things going on in my mouth. But there was a certain amount of like time in the day or a certain time in the day, 5 o'clock, I was like, done. Done. I couldn't be doing what we're doing right now with joy. I was just like
Mhm.
dragging and also like trying to like get up and down the stairs. That was the weirdest thing, trying to get up and down the stairs at work and my knees. It was like I was getting arthritis all of a sudden. It hurt and I was ballooning. My body just was ballooning. And this was the metabolic kicker for me. But it wasn't this alone. And I think that's something that I want to emphasize is a lot of people think we just magic pill things, but what we talked about before is it's digestion, it's movement. Like you've got to pair it with the things that are lacking. And then your body really goes, oh, you're taking care of me here. Let me take care of you.
Yeah.
This is one of the pieces. Walking for 10 minutes after you eat, dancing for 10 minutes after you eat, moving for 10 minutes after you eat. A lot of people don't know that can help reduce their glucose spikes.
Mhm.
When you have the energy to do it, when you're supporting yourself using doTERRA's advantage, you then have the energy to get up and do these things. You've got like you're fueling yourself properly.
Yeah.
Ooh, let me go. Did I go the wrong way? Oh yeah. So our metabolic blend, one of the coolest things about this too is the oil. And I hear people telling me this is willpower in a bottle. I found
It
that.
is. Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Julie,
Yeah.
did your sugar, love of the sugar, did it shift at all?
Uh,
I had reduced cravings with when I was on the Metapower oil for sure.
Yeah. It's
And I
very-
wanted more water.
yeah.
Mhm.
I didn't used to like water, and now I crave water instead of donuts.
Mm.
Yeah, I had an experience where we were going out for dinner to like a pub, so it was super pubby food. And I was like, oh, I haven't had enough water today. So I chugged my entire water bottle and it had Metapower in it. And the oil. And then we went into the restaurant and I was like looking at the menu and I was just like, like I just don't feel like that, like just the usual stuff, like the pizza, like, all that stuff that you'd usually be like, oh yeah, we're going out for dinner. This is what I want to, have. But it was, no, it was like, and then I was looking back on it and I was like, huh, interesting. There's
Well,
the
I think
connection. Like,
yeah, one of our earlier things, we talked about is that brain chemistry. Like there's something going on where you're shifting your brain chemistry.
yeah.
Sure. And well, let's see if this will go to the next one. Yeah. Our metabolic assist, this is actually my mom who has severe arthritis in her hands. This has helped her also reduce the arthritis even more. So the LLV was the first step. Now she's adding this because she's borderline type 2 diabetic. So once she found that out, now she's like, oh, this is helping my body's sensitivity to carbs.
Yeah.
And so she's always taking her metabolic assist for her. That's what her body needs. And it is definitely helped her hands even more in reducing the inflammation. So I haven't been taking this for a while. I might start taking it again. I'm not, well, I shouldn't say that. Maybe I am. I'm not eating as many of the big carb meals like I used to because the cravings changed.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm going to have a big carb meal, I think that's something that I would take. Let's see. Yeah, you're like the big thing is our body does have an amazing capacity to thrive when we give it what it needs. And I think that, looking at what doTERRA has to offer, it's not offering a quick fix, it's offering a support for a lifestyle change.
Yeah, absolutely. And looking at what you've probably talked about, like that health span, right?
Yeah,
Like
I didn't have the health
living,
span in there, but okay, Kelly, talk. What's health
but like
span?
living our best lives, like lifespan is like one thing. If you live to be 110, that's fine. But if you're not healthy in those last years and thriving, right? That's not living. So it's like be healthy, like have that health span be as long as your lifespan so that you can do the things that you want to do until the day you die, right? Like give your body all those nutrients, all those things that it needs in order to do that. So whether that's, playing with your grandkids, I always think about Dr. O and fly fishing, right? He's like, I want to be fly fishing till the day I die.
So true. And
Right.
it is, and
And,
it's just,
and people just think it's going to be downhill. It doesn't have to be that way, right? Like our bodies will continue. And I mean, I see that in my work as an OT. Like I see there's certain people that are thriving, right, into their late 90s. And I
Mhm.
always ask them because I have this in my mind. Like I don't think, oh, that's, they must have good genes. No, like what have you done to get to this point? And it usually always comes down to nutrition, exercise, right? Like supporting their bodies from that
It
sense.
is.
So, yeah.
Two of the key ones. Well, there's more to the slide deck, but really, I think this is enough for people just to key in. This is enough for people to, if a point in time they're curious, they want more information, we can send this to them, they can reach out to us and just know that this is what's possible. Is there anything else, Julie, we should add that you can think of? Like if you're
Maybe
seeing,
just
maybe
quickly
if we're seeing this in March, Kelly and Julie both have special codes for new people. They could get freebies,
this is true.
but this has to be March of 2025. What about you, Kelly? Is there anything else?
Any final words?
Any final words? Yeah.
I think it's one of those things. And I mean, I came into everything as a skeptic, and I would say it's one of those things you have to try and feel it in your own body. Like, we have our experience. There's so many experiences. There's so much science behind it. Like, all of that is incredible, but I think it's just feeling it in your own body and seeing those changes, and, being willing to be open and try something to make a change it's
Huge.
just what people need to do. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I think too, like doTERRA, put some money where the mouth is. If you're not noticing anything in 30 days with lifelong vitality, they have a return. You can return it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll give you your money back. Take it all. And if you don't notice the difference, they'll give you your money back.
Yeah.
So.
And I'm pretty sure, I know they don't have the guarantee with the collagen yet. I want to say yet because I know that that's something that they build towards. But I'd be shocked if you didn't feel something in 30 days with that collagen. Oh my
Yeah.
God. And
I
even
just want to add
the
too,
Metapower oil itself. It's fascinating what happens. Julie?
I think sometimes people aren't necessarily self-aware, like really tuning into their body when they're taking supplements like the collagen, for example. Even if you are somebody who isn't feeling it, there's no way that it's not helping you.
100%. Yeah. And you know what? A lot of people too they will try something and be like, oh, I didn't really notice a difference. And then they stop taking it. And then they notice a difference.
Exactly.
They're like, oh, wait, that was doing a lot.
You know what? I think right there for all three of us, mood management. That's a hard one to track, really, until something's out of the picture.
If I look back, I'm like, I just don't yell at my kids anymore like I used to. It's crazy. Like, I feel like a different parent. So
how many fights have you had with your spouse in the last 2 years compared to the 2 years before this?
100%.
Wow.
Yeah.
Way less. Yeah.
Way.
That's huge. So I think, so people that are feeling that, that is definitely a bonus for me too. I just don't feel as overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even in like some pretty extreme times, I'm like, interesting. I don't have a physiological response. That didn't make me sweat. What? This is great. Yeah. Okay, my friends. Well, you know what? I hope if whoever does get to see this, just know that you have some advocates that are here, wellness advocates that are here to support you. And there are so many different options to products, but I know that just honestly, using these ones is going to help. You'll see something within 30 days. So give it a try. And we'll put some more information out there because there are so many things that we can try. But I think these are our favorites, right? These are some of our, for sure.
Can't live without.
It's the foundation. It's what it is.
It is. It really is.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to come off. I don't know if it's going to let me out of here.
Stop the recording.
I'm going to stop my recording. There we go. And yep.